Hi, I'm McCauley in Syracuse, New York. Every year I do a session on letting it go. And I joked with the group earlier that I do it for myself and they're just the benefactors of it. And I think that each time I do it, I realize that I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better of letting go and letting God. And it takes practice. Just like it takes practice to eat less, move more, and pray, it takes practice to let things go. And I've got some of the most incredible articles that I've used before. And yet I read them every time as if they were new, as if they were the first time I read them. It's like reading the Bible. We read it, we hear it at church, but sometimes it just hits us where we are. The first article is 40 ways to let go and feel less pain. Because I weighed 371 pounds because I was in so much pain. So much pain because I couldn't let so many things go. And it starts by saying we create and maintain problems because they give us a sense of identity. Well, if I let go of my pain, who will I be? If I lose 200 pounds, who will I be? And so often people stay in bad friendships, bad jobs, bad things because that's who they think they are. And so often we replay our past mistakes over and over again in our head, allowing feelings of shame and regret to shape our actions in the present. I've told this before that sometimes people will come up to me and they're like, oh, Ellen, you're so nice, you're so this. And in my mind I'm thinking, if you only knew what I was really like, if you only saw me in the 70s, if you only knew how I lost my temper with Bob and said every swear word that was created since the beginning of time. I'm really not that nice. I'm finally learning to let go of the past when I wasn't perfect and say, you know what, thank you, because I'm working on being a better person. I'm working on being more Christ-like. But you notice what I'm saying? Working. I didn't say, well, thank you for saying that. I am pretty darn nice, aren't I? I'm the best there is. No. I say thank you because I'm working on it. And sometimes we almost get some power from our past mistakes and our past. Oh, I had a tough life. I had a tough upbringing. I had it tough. We all had it tough in some way, didn't we? Do we have to tell the story how we worked our way through college, our parents didn't give us the money, or we did this? It's over. You're 50. It's over. We need to sometimes let go of the tough times, let go of the pain. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. And I don't know about you guys, but I love peace. I love it. I love peace. I could sit here right now and think of all the bad things that have happened to me in my life and go spiraling down that path, or I can say, February 20th, 2014, I may pray it off. John made a beautiful butterfly. Life is good. I am at peace. We need to let go of the frustration by maybe learning a new skill. Starting Pray It Off or joining Pray It Off was new for all of us. It was new for us. People have joined in session 13 and they say to me, I feel like an old timer and it's only been a few weeks. Change your perception, because sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe there's a person in your life that you just don't get along with or you find annoying. God loves them. What can we find about that person to love? And there's nothing wrong with crying or feeling bad. When SU lost last night, I cried. I sat there. I put my head down. I turned my eyes to heaven. Why, God, why? And Bob was saying to me, it's only a game. It's only a game. But truthfully, it's okay to cry. Also, channel your discontent into a positive action. I didn't start Pray It Off when I weighed 150. I started it when I weighed 338. I took my discontent over my own life and situation and said, join me. Let's do this together. Meditation and yoga. Some of the best thing we ever did, Bob and I, was Tai Chi Cha. I have a tape at home. And I love it. Peace. Yes, it feels so good. Make a list of your accomplishments, even the small ones. Add to it daily. You know, it's the whole thing with Oprah's gratitude journal or counting your blessings instead of sheets. We can go to bed at night and remember the bad thing you did in 1965, or you can say, what did I do to help someone today? What did I do to bring the peace of Christ to someone? Also, visualize a box in your head labeled expectations. Oh, this is a big one for me. I never expected this. I didn't expect to be 59 and working and not having a great retirement, and I didn't expect this, and I didn't expect that. I also didn't expect to have a wonderful kid at 41. I wouldn't trade him for all the tea in China, anything. But God gives us what He wants us to have, what He wants us to do, and our expectations are just that, expectations. If we thought we were going to win that $400 million Powerball and some jerk in California won it, if you're watching the blog, I was only kidding. But the thing is, yes, I would have liked to have won the $400 million Powerball, but I didn't cry over it because I didn't win. Engage in physical activity. I can't say enough how good it feels. And there's people who've said, I stopped walking and riding the bike because I wasn't losing any weight. Is that the only reason you're exercising, to lose weight, or does it feel good and raise your endorphins and raise things? And here's the hard part too. Let go of anger and bitterness. And this is hard, especially if somebody did something really bad to you, or someone hurt you so desperately. But you can either hang on to that anger and that pain, which gives it so much power, or you can let it go. And I even do this motion, let it go, let it go. And there are days where I'm in a place where I can't do the motion, and in my head I'm going, let it go. And this is hard, especially when and we rant and rave about little things. Can you believe that they didn't shovel their sidewalk, and why aren't they out there shoveling their sidewalk? Or are we ranting and raving because someone was drunk driving and killed someone we loved? I mean, there's big things to rant and rave about. And that's the hardest thing. I read stories about people who have forgiven people who have done terrible crimes, and I'm always amazed. Because I always think if someone really hurt someone I really, really, who I loved, that's so hard, that kind of forgiveness. God wants us to forgive because the anger hurts us more than the person who upsets us. And we need to communicate that. We need to say very calmly, when you did this or when you said this, it really hurt me. It just hurt me. And instead of going, you start with anger, and all people hear is your anger. They're not hearing your words. And also take responsibilities. I know this might be a surprise to the group, but sometimes I can be a real jerk. I can be just a total jerk. I have expectations. I think things should be one way, and I'm like, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. Let it go. Let go of my expectations. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Sometimes we need to take responsibility for our feeling one way when the situation does not warrant it. And we need to put ourselves in the offender's shoes. We have this thing in our family, and it sounds like a joke, but it's not. If someone does something kind of bad or awkward, we go, well, maybe they're handicapped, especially if it's a stranger. Because you don't know. Maybe they're emotionally handicapped. Maybe they're mentally handicapped. Maybe they're physically. We think, why are we going to judge them? I have a sister who's had a brain injury. So I tend to be much more tolerant of people's behavior because I don't know, are they hurting in some way? Is something happening in their lives? And also, here's another good one. Metaphorically, throw it away. I have a list, believe me, I'm sure you all do, of all the bad things I did in my life and all the bad things that happened to me from other people in my life. And when I first did this years ago, I wrote it all down and burned it in my fireplace, and it felt so good. And I am so much better at forgiving the people who've hurt me in my life than I am at forgiving myself. Forgiving myself is the hardest thing, and I could break down into a bucket of tears right now because I hold myself up to this level, and when I go below it, I just take that whip and I go, why? We even do it about food. Why did I eat that cheeseburger? I got to go to pray it off. Why? We beat ourselves up. Or pizza, Ellen says no pizza. And sometimes people in the group, they're eating pizza and they're thinking, Ellen tells me not to eat. And here I am eating it. We beat ourselves up. We need to remind ourselves that in life, there are 3 options. We can remove ourselves from the situation, even if it's by stop thinking about it. Sometimes if I think a bad thought about something bad, I go, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. The Hail Mary, I probably say, I don't know, hundreds of Hail Marys a day. Somebody at work says something I don't like. Does that ever happen to anyone else here? Does anyone have anybody at work say something you don't like? And I'm just going to say, Hail Mary, full of grace. And I'm just saying it to myself. I don't count to 10. I say the Hail Mary. Or you could remove yourself from the situation. That's another thing you can do. If you're in an audience and it's open seating and the person behind you is yakking away and texting and there's a seat over there, move over there. Also, you can just accept it. Serenity prayer. Lord, give me the strength to accept those things and the wisdom to know the difference. And you got to let go of some past relationships too. And this one I'm going to let you read on your own a little bit. You know, some people are still holding on to a lot of pain, and maybe the person's dead. Maybe you had a stepfather who was very abusive to you, and they're dead. And you just give such pain and anger, write a letter. Also, imagine Jesus sitting here, you sitting here saying, Jesus, I know you saw what happened in 1959. I know you saw that. You know, I still can't get over that, Jesus. Help me. And Jesus will. Also, there's just such great topics here. And then I also want to mention that letting go of stress. So many people say, I eat because of stress. I breathe better than I did 6 years ago. Breathe, Ellen. Breathe. It feels good. And you know, when I breathe, I think I'm alive. I am alive, and I feel that air coming in. Immerse yourself in a group activity. Guess what? We are right now. We're in a group activity. Check that off, everybody. Okay, I've immersed myself in a group activity. And also think this. Worry pretends to be necessary, but serves no useful purpose. It pretends to be necessary. Well, I'm so worried about that. Yep. What does that do? Well, I'm glad you're worried. I'm sure that'll help. It doesn't help. Release it. Replace your thoughts. Go for a sauna. I particularly don't really care for saunas because I don't like that kind of heat. Some people like it. I don't. But I do like just lounging by a pool. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. How often do the crisis du jour, if I asked you to remember what you were worried about 10 years ago, you're only going to remember the big things, not the normal day nuisances. Organize your desk. I told you, I was worried about my boys on the road. I was worried about the weather. Worried, hear me? Worried. What was I going to do about that? Nothing. So I organized, I cleaned, I took this drawer, that drawer, did Pray It Off. I had Pray It Off done by noon on Saturday. I was a working machine. Also, laugh. I am a big proponent of laughing. I'm going to stop right there, Bob.